My name is Ashlie Regel.
And I'm Hannah Norgaard.
We are both second-year education students here at the University of Regina and took ECS210 together this past semester. Over the course of our 2-year education process, we have taken 3 education core studies classes, and each one seems to challenge our previous thoughts and beliefs about school and curriculum more and more.
In particular, ECS210 presented us with new concepts about curriculum while challenging them at the same time. The way we view curriculum is an evolutionary process and has been changing since the beginning of our semester. We have been presented with terms and concepts which made us uncomfortable, but we know that this is a critical part of our learning journey. In our story of learning, we want to talk about terms and concepts which stood out to us and played a large role in where our views stand today.
One of the first terms we learned about was common sense. This is a term which we heard in our everyday lives, but it was often used in a different context. We learned that common sense in regards to this class and the education process means everyday consciousness or popular thought. This common sense carries suggestions of many, sometimes contradictory ideas, and it is where the stratified deposits of more coherent philosophical systems have sedimented over time without leaving any clear inventory. Some of the common sense stories and how they need to be disrupted created discomfort for us as we thought that it was disrupting who we are as people. We learned that we must be aware of the common sense we personally hold and challenge new views and beliefs to change or disrupt the views of common sense.
The next topic we would like to discuss, which is arguably the main point of this class, is curriculum. There are 3 main types of curriculum that we would like to talk about: formal, hidden, and curriculum as place. The formal curriculum can be interpreted as the written curriculum or what legally has to be taught. This is the outcomes and indicators which are the main part of the curriculum. This class was the first in which we got to explore the curriculum and even critique. In our process of learning, we realized that outcomes are what has to be taught, but indicators can be interpreted by the individual teacher and how they want to teach it. When given the opportunity to do a curriculum critique, we chose to do grade 2 and 5 respectively. We both found that there are both positive things in each grade curriculum and ways to improve it. We found that it was mainly based around the common sense of the Euro-Western perspective and did not include many aspects of themes involving any First Nation perspectives. Being able to realize this means we are opening our minds and are engaging in our evolutionary learning process of a curriculum.
Next, and another important form of curriculum, is the hidden curriculum. Both Hannah and I agreed that this is a concept which we have been aware of but never had a name for. The hidden curriculum are the things that students learn in school that are not part of the formal or explicit curricula and are usually based off of socialization. They are often seen as negative. Some parts of hidden curriculum that are taught may be gender roles, social roles, rules, and many other things. We learned that the hidden curriculum is also influenced by the common sense of the world, and this is where influences about gender and race can come into play. The hidden curriculum is usually based off of the operation of a society or culture. Therefore, what is produced out of the hidden curriculum may be biased or prejudiced and negative. This can be a pivotal point in some students' and teachers' journey, and as we begin our own journey as pre-service teachers, we have become keenly aware of the hidden curriculum as we moved through ECS 210.
We both believe that curriculum as place is an essential way of looking at the curriculum. Curriculum as place is seen as curriculum that is grounded in students' experiences in local events and places, and more than a formal educational setting, curriculum is connected to families and communities. We believe that growing up in Fort Capel influenced how we were taught and which topics we covered. We were fortunate enough to have many subjects covered from a First Nations perspective, but we realized once we got to university that not everyone had this privilege. This made us realize how critical the place you've grown up is and how that can influence curricula. Through our evolutionary of learning, we have been made aware that sometimes place has to be taken out of curriculum in order for all aspects to be taught.
Throughout this class, we were taught the importance of treaty education and its place in the curriculum. As we said before, we were exposed to quite a bit of treaty ed due to our placement in Saskatchewan. However, we have learned that not everyone received this education, and therefore treaty ed needs to be implemented more into the classroom and not based on place. From guest speaker Claire Kruger, we were made aware treaty ed has been mandatory for 10 years. This means all of Saskatchewan should be receiving the same information from the treaty ed curriculum, and we were quite surprised to find out how many schools are still reluctant to have it strongly integrated into their classrooms. As pre-service teachers, we have learned how important First Nations content and perspectives are in a classroom and how essential that is to working towards decolonization. Learning these new things about curriculum has changed our views on and how to approach curriculum from when we started this course.
As we talk about curriculum and how it is taught, we want to touch on who has influenced our teaching philosophies. We learned about many different philosophers, but we both agreed that Maria Montessori was a big influence on our philosophies. She has been recognized as a big thinker who influenced the way that young children are now taught. As elementary educators, we believe that learning through play and discovery is essential to a child's development, which was reinforced by learning about Montessori. This has reinforced the way that we want to present the curriculum and put us on the right path for our ever-changing learning journey.
As we move along our paths to become teachers and finish up ECS210, we have been thinking on our agency and approach to curriculum quite a bit. We both believe we will be transmitters of curriculum and hope to successfully be the enhancers of the curriculum as well. Hannah and I are very much alike in what we believe about curriculum and how it should be approached. To share the mandated Saskatchewan curriculum is a huge responsibility, and the approach we take is essential to how our teaching careers will unfold. An anti-bias classroom is the goal for us both. Although it is believed that school is a neutral place, we know this is untrue. With that being said, neutrality may be the key in order to share new ideas and make it an accepting space for all to enhance their education experience. Disrupting biases from our own views, as well as the students, and actually learning together is how we hope to create a more positive experience in transmitting the curriculum.
At the end of this course, as we look back from where we started, we realized there were many bumps along the road in which we felt discomfort. Example of this would be when Mike addressed the class as racist, or when we talked about common sense scenarios which attacked white people. These were instances in which the initial reaction was anger, but after taking a step back and learning more, we realized it was a part of the journey we are on in disrupting bias, and such will only make us better teachers. The point of cognitive dissonance isn't to create anger, but to create learning opportunities, which will benefit us in our classroom. This realization is only some of the rewards we attained from ECS210 and will carry forward on the rest of our teaching journey.